Hello, my name is Glenn Dyer, and you are watching a Dyer-Situation. Today we're seeing the Divergent series, ALLEGIANT?
I think so.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. They split this is another one of those teen movies where they split the last book into two movies, which worries me.
Yeah.
So, we'll start with the simplest opinion. Alex, what do you think the movie's gonna be?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I haven't watched anything before. I'm just going in here completely blind.
Alright.
We'll see how well that goes. Probably terribly.
I also hadn't watched the movies, but I checked them out and he refused to. So we're going to kind of test how well this movie can establish the prior ones. Although considering how story heavy it is, I really don't expect it to.
Well, maybe there's something there for people who never watched the other ones, though again I doubt it.
Maybe, but I don't know. I don't. This isn't exactly Despicable Me. I don't think it's gonna be that easy.
This is for science.
Sure. Yeah. As for my opinions, the first movie I liked surprisingly a lot. In fact, probably out of all these Hunger Games and Maze Runners and whatevers, this is probably my favorite now that I saw that first movie. Like, pretty tightly packed, interesting characters. I like how the protagonist is kind of a wimp. It's kind of fun. So, yeah, I was enjoying myself. The only problem I really had is that it kind of fell into a similar trapping of, let's say, The Fifth Wave, where the writer seemed obsessed with making up his or her own words and was using them very freely throughout the script, and I don't know, it's kind of confusing, because they're like, oh yes, those darn people from the Herverton clan, they're jerks, or something. I'm like, I don't remember who that is. Who's that again? You know, this is based on English, right? You could have just called them, like, the police people, the people who tell truths, or something. You know, you don't need to complicate things, but whatever. And then the second movie, during the first part I was kind of disappointed. It was giving me a Scorched Trials feeling, where I was just like, okay, everyone's an action hero now, and nothing's gonna be surprising anymore. But then the ending was pretty awesome. In fact, almost too awesome. I'm honestly wondering what this movie is going to be about anyway. Because the ending seemed... could have honestly concluded the series right there. It was pretty clean, but which is interesting. Cause, what?
I was about to say let's find out, but
yeah,
you kept talking. You ruined it.
I'm sorry. Because the ending of the first movie was like, I don't know, it was kind of a downer. So I don't know. This ending of the second movie seemed cleaner than the ending of the first, which is interesting. Don't think that usually happens. So, yeah, I'm expecting this one to keep up the high quality, although being split into two movies might have a hindrance on it, like the Hunger Games did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, little worried, but hopefully they'll come through. So, yeah, let's do it. Okay, so, just for humor's sake, let's start this off with the guy who had absolutely no context for the movie. What did you think?
Actually, I think I found the perfect sequel to jump into, because I think I got all of it.
Really? Okay, tell me the premise of this movie.
Well, there's this war going on in between this isolated city, right? And then, well, actually, they just finished this war because apparently there's this person that was a dictator, and then they beat them, right? And then they wanted to go beyond this wall of this isolated city, right? They couldn't do it, but then they did do it. And then apparently they're killing off these people that were part of the old regime, but they didn't want to kill off a certain person because I think they were related somehow. And then, so they got them out. And this is going to be pretty much the whole plot. And then they got them out, and then there's this thing. And they don't want them outside for whatever reason. but then they got outside, and then they had to send other people outside to get them back from outside. But apparently there's this thing outside that's controlling the isolated city. And it's like another isolated city, but it's controlling that one. And that's controlled by another isolated city, but it's not so isolated from the other isolated city. And then it's about the second isolated city. And then how it feels like if I had watched the first movie, I'm pretty sure it would be almost beat for beat that movie, because it sounds pretty generic. Like, there's this new guy, but they're bad, but I guess we gotta stop them. That's basically it.
That is not the first movie at all.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm wrong, because that sounds generic.
Honestly, I think I'm in love with this series. I mean, like, so let me establish for you. Basically, in the first movie, we're introduced that this is the chaotic future. Bear in mind, we don't know anything about this other city or whatever. Yeah. This is the chaotic future. The whole world is fucking destroyed, and all that remains is the ruins of Chicago, and the people who set up this population of ruins, they split everyone into 5 factions, which all are about one specific ideology. There's the soldier guys who do soldiery stuff.
Yeah.
There's the smart people.
Yeah.
There's the people who are honest. That's the weirdest one to me.
Okay.
There's the people who are just, like, philanthropists and really nice to everybody.
Okay.
And, the 5th one was, God. It was something. What was it? Let's see. Being nice to people. Well, what's the 5th attribute that would be really good?
I don't know. Heart. But you already covered heart.
Yeah. There's already a being nice to people one. And there's a 5th one.
Yay.
But yeah, and you think of it like when you just watch that and you think of it and you're like, okay, I've seen stupider, and you just go with it, and that's kind of the first movie, and it's like. And then they find out that there's stuff called Divergent, which is people who belong to more than one of those groups.
Okay.
Like, because when you're a kid, you're, like, with your faction, and then you get to choose one later on, if you want, but people usually go with their own. And you only get one choice, right? Okay. But, yeah. But there's some people who honestly fit into more than one, and our main character, the girl... She fits into all of them perfectly.
Okay.
So it's basically like she has a more full personality is the plot of the first movie.
So everyone's basically not as human?
Yeah, like they're one-sided. But like you kind of get the idea that they're just split that way for simplicity's sake.
Yeah. But they're honestly just that simple people?
Kind of. That's kind of the great thing is that the cheesy and sillier stuff from the earlier movies is actually explained and made way clearer as it goes on. Like, Stephen Moffat could learn from this.
Actually, now that you've explained it, the stuff that they revealed in this movie actually makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because the way they explained it, it just seemed arbitrary.
No.
To me, with no context, but with that, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's so great, because, like, I just like it because it keeps on building on this idea and exposing more stuff that clears things up instead of making it more confusing. Like, this is pretty much the anti-Maze Runner, where exposing more stuff makes it more confusing and more stupid. Exposing more stuff makes this seem like it makes more sense.
Huh.
It's kind of amazing.
Well, that being said, I'm pretty sure I got a lot of the gist from this.
Alright.
Yeah. At least I feel like I got most of an experience. But that's because I knew going in that this was a sequel. Like, if they could have made this into a standalone movie, and it would have been alright.
It would have.
And if they were released in the 80s, it probably would have been a cult hit.
Probably. But, like... But just as somebody who's seen the other movies, like, it's great with that context in there. Like, you just like, oh my god, that makes so much sense now. Before I just blindly accepted it as some sort of stupid movie, when, like, now, oh my god, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like, I get it now. And yeah, and as always with this series, I've noticed they have, like, pretty awesome dream sequences and stuff in it, and like at one point there's this dude getting his memory erased, and the sequence as it's unfolding is really trippy and awesome.
That was a pretty cool effect. I like that scene.
Yeah, and like several different stuff. They have in this movie. There's like a monitoring machine that they show you that they use to monitor everyone in Chicago, and it's like incredibly creative and just this big bubble spear that also puts you in the place.
But I think the way they presented it looked a little annoying. Like there was this artifacting going around that like there was like a whole bunch of like discolored squares going around that.
Yeah.
I felt that was kind of annoying.
I think the idea of that was just to show you when it's being monitored and when it's not. Yeah.
I can get that, but it's still.
Yeah, I think I can understand.
Yeah,
that would get a little annoying. I'm hoping the next movie doesn't dawn on that too much. But that's another thing. This movie is split in two,
but it feels like that works.
It was a decent ending.
Yeah,
like it was a pretty it wasn't the Hunger Games Part 1. Hell, it wasn't even Deathly Hallows Part 1. Like it was.
Yeah,
it was
good.
Just very solid.
Like again, with my context, it seemed like it just had a sequel hook, not that it was split into two movies.
I know. That's pretty awesome. Like, whoever's handling this series is doing a really good job.
Good on you, person.
Yeah.
Or people.
And other things like these, like the futuristic soldiers in this, like. The movie already, like, was supposed to take place in the future, but this other city is the future. And, like, they have, like, soldiers with, like, disc things on their backs that are drones that control their arm. It's so creative, and it looks so awesome.
Oh, and I like that they had that like, desert camo that was, like, red. I thought that was a neat touch.
Oh, but did you notice? It was like Old Snake's camo in Metal Gear Solid 4. It changed.
Really? It changed?
Yeah.
Wow.
When they were inside of the ship, it was kind of gray.
Really?
And when they exited into the red landscape, it shifted into red.
Wow, I guess I wasn't even paying attention to that.
It was in the background. They weren't focusing on it, but it was happening.
Yeah, good on that, because I'm glad they didn't draw attention to that. That's a nice little detail.
I know. And the whole, like, landscape, like, it's supposed to be, like, nuked out or something. It looks like some sort of Mad Max wasteland, which is awesome. Especially since there was, like, some crazy-looking skinhead dude in a truck, in a Jeep at one point, like, chasing them. So it was like Mad Max.
That was from the Chicago, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, that was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then he just sees this, like, wall, and they go through it, and there's, like, fucking, like, airships there, and he's like, what the fuck? It was so great.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just can't believe it, like, especially after Maze Runner. I mean, like, the funny thing is, this really should be something that's expected, that a movie be more concise and make more sense as it goes along, but, like... Especially in this genre of just made-for-teen action movies adapted from a book, like, like, it's just not very common, so it's great to see.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't go out of my way like he does to watch every movie, so I can't speak for all of those made-for-young teen movies adapted from books. But from what I've seen, they don't hold the popular opinion of being good.
Yeah.
But I feel like I walked into the right thing. This was pretty good. I'm glad I made the decision.
Would you watch the earlier movies?
I would watch the earlier movies.
Alright.
Though I'd probably think of them as prequels.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Honestly, they just build on each other so well. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, and the music fit the place so well.
Oh yeah.
Like, it actually reminded me of Deus Ex Human Revolution. Because with all those motifs, it actually felt like it was, like, futuristic.
I know. There wasn't any like stupid pop song shoved in there
Yeah.
for no reason. It was
basically pure instrumental.
yeah, so cool. Yeah, it's hard to find like bad things about this. I mean, like
I don't know. I think there's this portrayal that I don't think made any sense, but I don't know that character, so I can't really say what about them.
oh,
That one guy.
okay. Do we need to go into spoilers to say?
I don't know. I basically explained the whole plot. It was very specific. I'm general. I mean, but
Okay. I don't know. Well, which one guy are you? Are you talking about Mr. Fantastic, the constantly betraying villainous comedic character?
yes,
Oh yeah, him.
yeah,
Yeah, honestly, I also don't know why they haven't just killed him yet.
Yeah.
But somehow he seems to find himself in positions where he gets away with it, and that's just how the movies go.
I don't know.
That's just something you kind of have to accept, that
Okay.
they're not going to kill him off. He's comedic character, so.
Yeah.
Um,
I find it interesting that they made the comedic character the one you want to kill, because typically you'd want to kill that one anyway.
I know! Like, he's just a complete dick, and he betrays them all the time.
Yeah.
And barely manages to get away with it through certain circumstances. Like, it happens all throughout the first and second movies.
Oh, wow.
Where he, like, switches to the other side, but simply out of necessity, they can't kill him.
Wow.
He just keeps getting away with it.
That's pretty good.
I know. I love it.
It'd be all the better when he dies.
I know. I really hope it's in some spectacular fashion in the next movie.
Yeah. That'd be good. Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the next one.
I am too.
I'm gonna tell you. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's weird being able to jump in the middle of a series and being able to actually get it.
I know. I mean, try this with, like, The Hobbit or something.
Or-
I wouldn't get it.
Or like any other series ever.
I know. Fucking Star Wars, I don't think I'd get it.
I don't think so either. It'd have to have that weird experiment. Like,
And-
who hasn't seen Star Wars other than my one weird friend?
Yeah. Do you really want to do that to him?
No, I don't want to do that to her.
Ever start with the prequels.
Oh god, no. I don't even want to show her the prequels.
Well, there's many people who started with the prequels, so that's pretty well documented, I
This
guess.
is true. Actually, I started with the prequels. Not a fun time. Anyway, back to Allegiant.
Yeah, back to a freaking Allegiant. Oh, and, you know how I mentioned that the main character is, like, kind of a wimp and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I like how in this movie, like, it's pretty much almost completed the chain of wimp to badass.
Yeah.
And but it's gradual and believable.
Yeah.
Unlike Katniss Evergreen, who is just some, like, lady who who made one decision in the first movie, doesn't make a single other decision throughout the rest of the series that has any kind of impact, except for maybe at the end, barely, and somehow she's labeled as a badass, even though there's very little growth of that character.
Though from my perspective, she was just a badass.
Katniss?
And no, I'm Triss.
Oh yeah, Triss in this movie, because
Yeah, because
you started off in the third movie.
Exactly, like an idiot.
Duh. Because at the very beginning, she was like an Amish lady, and she just slowly evolved into that. Like in the middle, like in Insurgent, she was somewhere in between those. Not quite a badass, not quite an Amish lady, just trying to get along. Just cut her hair, looks kind of dopey in it, but in this movie looks really comfortable in it. It's great.
Yay.
I love it. Gradual character development and arcs and
Yeah.
all this stuff that should be common in movies but isn't.
Another thing from my perspective, which may be interesting, that it feels like if this were just a standalone movie, that even if it were edited down to make a bit more sense within its own context, I feel like even then you can get more background into other things, because they just explain things just enough to get you curious about what they mean.
I know.
But they don't over-explain it.
Exactly.
So I think that was good. Like, I guess it's because it is one of those sequel things, but I guess it was just handled right, where it expects you to know it.
Yeah.
But, again, it's handled well, even though sequels sometimes expect you to know things, and then they explain it to you anyway.
I know, that's kind of the annoying thing, because you gotta hit that groundwork, because even people who are fans of the series most likely haven't seen the last movie for, like, over a year.
Yeah.
So you gotta give them, like, at least a short recap to build them up to speed.
Right.
But sometimes it's hard to strike that balance. I mean, I think, like, Mockingjay Part 2 or whatever, like, first 15 minutes I had no idea what was going on. I had totally forgotten what happened in the last movie. But, yeah, slowly it built up. But this movie didn't seem to have that problem at all. Just like right off the bat, oh yeah, I remember what happened. Yeah, this is what's happening now.
Cool.
So, yeah, pretty fucking awesome movie. This is such an underrated series.
Yeah. I can even tell you that, and I only watched one of the movies in the middle.
No. Why isn't this like the most popular like one?
I don't know. Maybe because it's good.
Yeah, like
maybe that's why.
Hunger Games is over. Go watch this.
Yes.
Go watch the other two movies as well, and go watch what's the last one? Alliance, something like that. It's coming out in a year or so. You watch that.
Yes.
Like, I am so upset with myself that I decided to skip out on Insurgent last year, because I did think it would be something like Fifth Wave or whatever.
Damn you, prejudice.
I feel so bad. But luckily I don't miss any movies anymore, so I'm glad I still get to experience series like this, just huge hidden gems of a series. And I'm so glad that it's still being made, that nobody's given up on it or something, and that like this'll still be around forever. And they're still gonna make a final movie. It's gonna be great.
Yay.
Yeah. Treasure this. Buy it on DVD.
Buy it on Blu-ray if you can.
Buy it on digital download. Buy it on all the mediums.
Buy it.
Buy it. Watch it. Watch it in theaters.
If you have to pirate it, then buy it.
Yes. And watch it on IMAX. Or something.
Yeah.
Maybe 3D if you're into that. I hate 3D. But that's nothing to do with that movie. I just hate 3D in general. Yeah.
That's good.
Awesome movie.
Awesome.
Awesome movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and until next time, I'm Glenn Dyer, and you have been watching A Dyer-Situation.